All right, if you've ever worked in a business, you know this feeling, right? You've got this great idea for an app or a tool that would make your job so much easier, but actually getting it built feels like a nightmare. Well, in this explainer, we're going to break down how no-code platforms, like one called Creatio, are completely flipping that script, giving the power to build software back to the people who actually need it.
But first, let's just ask the big question that I think haunts boardrooms and break rooms everywhere. Why is building business software still so painfully slow? And look, this isn't just some small inconvenience. It's a massive bottleneck that literally chokes innovation and leaves so many good ideas stuck on the drawing board.
So, what's really at the heart of this? Well, it's something experts call the massive army dilemma. See, historically, to build any kind of significant application, you needed a huge team of specialized developers. And that creates this fundamental bottleneck where the demand for new software just vastly outpaces the supply of people who can actually write the code. And that brings us right here to what we're calling the digital bottleneck. This isn't just a technical problem. It's this ever-widening gap between the speed the business needs to move and the speed IT can actually deliver. I mean, think about the old way of doing things. First, you're fighting just to get a developer's time, which is already scarce. Then the project itself can drag on for months, maybe even years, burning cash the entire time. And by the time it's finally delivered, the business need might have totally changed. And the people who asked for it, they barely even recognize the final product. It's a broken system. So, how in the world do you smash through that bottleneck? Well, the answer is a pretty radical shift in thinking called no code. It's all about unlocking a brand new kind of freedom, the freedom to build without being a professional coder. And this very idea is the engine behind platforms like Creatio. Okay, so what exactly is a no-code platform? Think of it like this. It's a visual workshop. Instead of writing lines and lines of code, you're using drag-and-drop tools and simple menus to piece together a real working application. Now, it's designed for professional developers to use, for sure, but the real magic is that it opens the door for non-professional creators too. And this approach, it unlocks three absolutely crucial freedoms for any business. First up, you've got speed. We're talking about launching solutions in weeks, not years. Second, empowerment. You're turning the people on the front lines, in sales, in marketing, in operations, into what are called citizen developers who can actually solve their own problems. And third, focus. This frees up your professional IT team from this endless backlog of small requests so they can tackle the really complex challenges, like security and architecture. Okay, that's the big promise. But how does it actually work? Let's get under the hood a little bit and see how you can go from just a simple diagram on a screen to a live application your whole team can actually use. And really, it all boils down to this one powerful idea. All of these visual tools, the configuration screens, the menus, the rule panels, this is what replaces thousands and thousands of lines of custom code. You stop telling the computer what to do line by line, and you start showing it what to do visually. You know, the best analogy I've heard for this is brilliant. Imagine you're mapping out a business process in a tool like Microsoft Visio, right? It looks great, it makes sense, but it's just a static diagram. It doesn't do anything. A no-code platform takes that exact same intuitive visual approach, but here's the magic. The diagram you build is alive. It actually executes. So building a workflow suddenly becomes, well, super intuitive. Let's say you want to automate expense reports. You just drag a submit form block onto the screen. You configure the rules, like if the amount is over $500, then you connect that to an approval request action that automatically goes to a manager. You link these visual blocks together, hit execute, and boom, just like that, you have a live working process. Okay, now look at the real-world impact this has on timelines. It's staggering. A traditional CRM project can take well over a year, 12 to 18 months. With no code, we're talking about delivering that same value in a matter of weeks. Just think about that for a second. That's a whole year of insights, a year of improved sales, a year of better customer service that you get back. It's a total game changer. But, and this is a big but, this freedom brings up a huge question, right? The one that keeps every IT leader up at night. If you let everyone start building their own apps, won't you just unleash total chaos? It's a completely valid concern, so let's tackle it head on. So first, let's get really clear on who we're talking about. A citizen developer or a no-code creator isn't some rogue agent building stuff in the shadows. No, they are business users creating applications inside a framework that is specifically sanctioned and managed by corporate IT. That's the key. So let's just put the question right out there. If you let the sales team build their own tools, are you just creating a complete nightmare of security holes, bad data, and a ton of unsupported shadow IT projects that are eventually going to explode? And the answer from a mature no-code platform is this really cool philosophy: freedom within fences. The best way to think about it is like a playground. You give people the freedom to build, to create, and to play, but you do it within a safe, secure boundary that's been established and is being watched over by IT. And this is brilliant. This is how it's actually done. Creatio literally has a dedicated governance application that sits on top of everything. From this one central hub, IT can set permissions, manage risk and compliance controls, and make sure that every single application that gets built meets the company's quality and security standards. It completely turns the whole shadow IT problem on its head by giving everyone a safe, approved playground to build in. All right, so we've got speed and we've got control. Now let's look at the ultimate prize: how this combination lets you build your business faster and, frankly, smarter than ever before. This chart right here tells such a powerful story. On the left, you've got the old way, a huge, months-long discovery phase where you try to write down everything you can possibly think of in a 500-page document. But on the right, that's the no-code way. You shrink that whole process down to just days. You build a quick prototype, you show it to people, you get real feedback, and you iterate, learning and improving in real time. This isn't just a change in technology, it is a massive cultural shift. It moves your team from being terrified of failure because failure is so expensive to a culture of just rapid iteration. When the cost of trying out a new idea is almost zero, you're free to experiment, learn from your mistakes, and get to the right answer dramatically faster. So let's just bring it all home. What's the real bottom line here? Well, by accelerating your time to value, you get a faster return on every single investment. By empowering your business experts, you get better, more relevant solutions. And by freeing up your IT pros, you let them focus on the future. The result? A faster, smarter, more innovative company, top to bottom. Which really just leaves us with one last question for you to think about. Who in your organization are the real problem solvers? The ones who truly understand how to get things done? Because with the right tools in their hands, they might just be your next, and maybe your most important application builders.